Rudolph the Red-Nosed Real Estate Investor? Hi, I'm Phil Pustiowski with freedommentor.com. I am a full-time real estate investor, real estate mentor, and in this video, I want to share with you what you can learn about real estate investing from Mr. Rudolph here. Okay, so if you don't know anything about the story about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, first of all, go check out that little cartoon. It's a children's classic. But in the movie, what happens is Rudolph thinks he is so unique and different because he's got this red nose. And then as the movie progresses, he goes on a journey and he ends up discovering an island of misfits. And so all of a sudden he discovers that he's not the only misfit out there, that there are a ton of misfit toys. There are a ton of misfits, right? And so how does that relate to real estate investing? Well, I'm getting there. Okay, so Rudolph can teach you something here. I get this question all the time from people that are watching my videos, people read my book. They say, Phil, who in their right mind would ever do a creative real estate investing deal with you? Because you know, Phil, I would never. I own a home and I would never do that. I mean, I would never let you just buy my house really cheap. I'd never just let you take over my payments. I mean, I get this question all the time. People get like heated. They get emotional about the whole thing. And what's so interesting about it is that you can learn a lot from Rudolph's story when it comes to this particular topic. Because just like Rudolph, who discovered a misfit island, when you begin talking to truly motivated sellers, you realize that there are a bunch of them out there. You realize that they absolutely do exist. And more importantly, and I'm going to write this down for you, there's a lesson in when people bring up ideas like, Phil, I would never do that. Why would I, expect someone else to do that? I want to bring up a great lesson in business. Ready for this? You are not, loudly I said not your customer. What do I mean by that? I mean that just because you may not do something doesn't mean somebody else wouldn't. Doesn't mean Rudolph here may not want to do it. Because we're very, very diversified human beings. I mean, think about it. People spend tens of thousands of dollars on purses. Why would anyone in their right mind spend $30,000 on a purse? Or $10,000 on a watch, right? People do it. There's a market out there for those people. It's a big world out there. Have you ever driven past a shopping center, or maybe you see some store, like a craft store or something that you would never frequent, and you drive by and you think, how the heck do they even stay in business? Who shops there? Well, you are not their customer. You never were their customer. They don't care. They have their own set of customers out there. Does that make sense? So you are not your customer always when it comes to being a real estate investor. You are buying properties from people that are in a bind, in a situation. They just want to get rid of their home. They don't even care about their property, and they're different from you. I've got a great story on this. So there is a situation, this happened in late 1999 in Nashville, Tennessee. A friend of mine was looking for a property to buy. I saw an ad in the paper. This was back when they used to use, newspaper classifieds. Internet was just getting going. And it said that this person wanted to sell their home for $200,000 or best offer, but my friend knew the value was probably like $600,000 or $800,000. He was like, wow, this thing's crazy. And he wasn't a real estate investor, by the way. He was just looking for a home for him and his family. So he gives the person a call. The person says, yeah, I'll sell it to you for $200,000. And the guy says, I'm a little confused. I mean, does it have like a sinkhole in the backyard? I mean, this property should sell for a lot more money. And he said, no, I'm selling it for this amount. It turned out the owner of the property had invented the noodle. You know, your kids probably play with them in a pool. It's like a long little foam thing that they can float on and play with, the noodle. This guy had invented that. He was an inventor. And he'd made millions and millions of dollars from this invention, as well as some other inventions he had done. And he was convinced that the world was about to fall apart when it turned the year 2000. He was convinced of it. So what he did was he wanted to sell all of his assets, everything, prior to the turning to the year 2000. And so he wanted to just get rid of this home quick, and he wanted to do it cheap, and he was happy to do it. He had plenty of money. He helped my friend move in. My friend bought the home. It was worth $650,000. He bought it for $200 grand, and the seller helped him move in. You are not your customer. Well, it turned out that the world didn't end. I guess it did for that gentleman. He bought this RV, he moved his family up into the mountains, and then nothing really happened, and it turned out, I think he had to get a divorce. His wife thought he was crazy, so maybe the world didn't end for that guy. But the point is, you are not your customer. And there are so many different situations where sellers are in a bind, or they're in a situation where a real estate investor is the perfect solution for them. Even better than a real estate agent. You become their perfect solution. And once you've seen one, you see, all of a sudden it's like Rudolph, all of a sudden you find Misfit Island. Does that make sense? All right, well, I hope this little entertaining analogy gives you a better visual of this concept, because it's so true. These deals are out there. It's like if you bought a brand new car and you thought nobody else had that car on the road, but you start driving around, all of a sudden, gosh, a lot of people have the same car I do. How did that happen? They were always there, weren't they? It's just your focus changed. And the same is true when you become a creative real estate investor. Your focus changes. You start to pick up on little things. Like I was in the UPS store the other day. The UPS store owner had 4 different properties that all of which were giving him hassles. He just wanted to get rid of them. And I overheard it. You know, it's like your ear, your everything gets tuned to this stuff. And you see these opportunities that other people just don't see. All right, well, also I just want to tell you, Rudolph and myself, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thanks for watching. You can learn more about me at freedommentor.com. Check out more of my videos. And, even if it's not Christmas time and you're watching this video and it's been on YouTube for a while, I still think it's a very helpful analogy, because you are not your customer. And just because you may not ever do a deal, that doesn't mean the seller wouldn't be happy with that deal. So be open-minded. You'd be surprised what can happen in life. Thanks for watching.